Alright, for this video I'm going to show you how to cut the opening for your mat board with the bevel cutter. We have two bevel cutter styles. Most of them will say bevel cutter on them. This is the cutter that has this nice angle to it. Alright, so it creates this beautiful little bevel around our artwork so we can see the core color of the mat board and the surface color of the mat board. Again, check your blades, make sure that they are clean. By the way, this cut was not for mat cutting, just FYI. But you want to make sure that the blade is clean and a nice sharp point on there. So this bevel cutter is a pull style. Okay, if you look at the blade itself, let's see if I can show you. See right there, facing my band-aid, that is the sharpest part of the blade. So in order for it to cut correctly, when it's put on the tracks, you have to pull toward yourself. If I push this one, I'm using the non-sharp part of the blade, and that's silly. That's why you get super crazy, horribly cut mats. So this is a pull style. Look at the sharp part of the blade and pull it towards you, okay? We also have a push style, and it says push style on it. Some do, some don't, so this one's a great one to remind you. It's a push style, and if you just look at the blade, okay, here is the sharp end of the blade. It's away from me. So in order to cut with the sharp part of the blade, I need to make sure I'm pushing away from me to do that. I know it gets super confusing, but try to look for the sharp part of the blade and decide and make your choice that way. Okay. Now this next part, no matter what style push blade you're using, or I'm sorry, bevel blade, if it's a push or pull, it doesn't matter. You need to cut the left line. If I orient it this way, I still need to cut the left line. If I orient it this way, it's the left line. You have to cut the left line. That way the bevel, which is going at this angle, cuts in and to the left. This is the back of my project, okay? This is going to be the front, so I want that bevel to angle out so that I can see the core color of the mat board. So I'm going to place my left line down just to the right of my metal bar, just like with the straight cutter, but now it's my left line. If I'm going to take the pull style, I'm going to place it, again, all of these cutters have little ridges, you can put them on the track. And the trick with this is, you want to make sure, I'm going to try to zoom in here so you can see it. See this line right here? You need to make sure that line starts with the line you've drawn across. This is how you don't cut all the way through your mat. You're only cutting the opening part. So you've got to start here, and then I'm going to hold with my left hand again, use my index finger and my middle finger to push the blade into the mat board, and then I'm going to pull towards myself, and I'm going to stop where this line meets my line, okay? And I usually do that at least 3 times, just to make sure my cut goes all the way through. Okay? So I have a nice cut there. Now I'm going to rotate and do my other left side. I'm going to shift my mat board underneath, again, so I have nice clean lines, and I'll do one more with the pull style, and then I'll do some with the push style, so that you can see how they just move in different directions, but still do the same cutting. So again, I line up here, push the blade in with my fingers and pull, and stop when I meet my line, pull, and stop when my line meets this line, and one more time, just for good luck, which is always usually a good thing for me. And now I have my 2 sides cut, okay? So I'm going to continue, but this time I'm going to use the push style so you can see how that works. The push style, instead of here at the top, because if I push, I'm not going to actually go to my mat board, I'm going to tear it if I try to pull towards me. So I start down here. Again, it has little hooks to sit on the track. You line this up, this line on the push style cutter with the line that you've got at the base. This time you're going to hold the bar with your left hand and push in with your thumb. and push forward and stop when this line meets your line. And you're going to do that 3 times, just for good luck. Okay? Awesome. Now, with this next cut, I'm going to purposely make a mistake so that you can see how to fix it. I'm going to start with my line here, but I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm going to stop like right there. Because sometimes if you're not really precise with this or you're not really paying attention, you don't cut all the way to a corner. And that can be super, super bad. Okay, so, oh no, I have a hanging corner. Do I rip it? No. Do not rip it off. If you rip it off, then you're going to tear this beautiful black paper off of the mat board core, which is white, and you're going to have a big white spot here on your mat board. Okay, mat board it's made of layers. It's a board, and then it's a beautiful color paper on the front. So you've got to be mindful of taking care before you just rip something. Take an X-Acto blade. I told you needed one of these at the beginning, just to be safe. Instead of tearing this, you're going to flip it over to the front. Get a little bit closer so you can see. And you're going to gently take the blade in and just slice the paper. I don't think you could see that. But anyway, we'll see. There. Now. That corner doesn't look too bad. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. It's not torn. Okay? But see the bevel on that? You can see the white core of the mat. Doesn't want focus. You can see the white core of the mat and the black mat board on the front. That's beautiful. Okay? If any of your bevel edges are not smooth and clean, you can take a file to them to clean them up. I typically keep the files at my desk, or there are some in the mat cutting box, but you very gently just go at the angle. I'm not going up and down because that doesn't work. It's a bevel cut, okay? So I need to go at the angle at the bevel cut and just gently pull my file across to clean things up. Oop. And you brush it off with your finger, okay? Like my straight edge over here has a little funky thing happening. Then I can go straight up and down with my file and try to clean that up so it doesn't look out of place and detract from my artwork when I'm ready to mat it.